Hey, good morning, y'all. So I woke up this morning and I was just thinking. I'm always thinking. I'm a thinking man, and I think about the things that go on in the world a lot. I think a lot about my family. I think a lot about my relationship with God. Past relationships, my community, people I grew up with, people I grew up around. I think a lot about past scenarios, past mistakes, how I correct those mistakes here in the future. Um, Getting older truly does bring a a level of wisdom, and if you're getting older and you're not gaining wisdom, um, you need to pray because you really missing out on a lot. Now, I, right now it's this Meg the Stallion and Clay stuff going on, and the conversation I want to have is much deeper than that. Though we know men and women, women and men have been cheating on each other since the beginning of time. Something about the makeup, just the chemical makeup of men and women, makes us predisposed to cheating, makes us predisposed to lying. But once we gain knowledge of who we are, once we gain knowledge of what it means to have morals and what it means to live with high character, what it means to live a high value life, you understand that lying and being deceitful and things like that really really encompass a low value lifestyle. You know, Even though we're not perfect, we all sin and fall, sin and come up short. Sin, fall, and come up short. However you might want to word it. We all make mistakes, basically. But speaking on speaking towards like the male female dynamic, what I really want to talk about is the male and female dynamic. Um, how we raised in a certain sector of the black community. Some might want to say the ghetto, some might want to call it the urban areas, some might call it the hood. You know, I'm just going to say a certain sector of the black community because I know everyone hasn't grown up the same. Everyone doesn't live the same. Everyone's community isn't the same. We all attend different schools, but I'm from Houston, Texas. Um, and I'm going to say that the sectors in which most of the black community attended HISD, Houston Independent School District. We'll talk about those sectors, kids that grew up in those areas. I really think that there needs to be a focus placed upon the way black men and boys are associated. And I'm talking about from the school level to the prison level. Um, if you notice in school, males, black, I'm speaking from my community, and maybe even Hispanics as well. But black males and black females are associated entirely different, right? Um, you'll notice that in school, girls excel in being more intellectual. Um, the girls excelled in things like typing. I always remember the girls being able to type 30, 40 words per minute, just about in middle school or high school, or even higher. And being intellectual, reading, focusing on more the things more that would move them more education forward, more career forward, more job forward, more service forward. And boys, we were more associated, we're more associated um on our brute strength and our athleticism and the tools that we have physically. I've never saw a structure that really encompassed, um, putting the effort behind growing the black boy, growing the black male, the black man intellectually. And I'm not the smartest person in the world, so I may say some words that don't fit the exact criteria of what I'm trying to explain, but we'll work around that. We'll work through that. I ain't the smartest man, but I ain't the dumbest either. I like to say I know a little bit about everything instead of a whole lot about nothing. That's the kind of man I am, right? So back to the school, back to the school topic. In school, you saw the girls be more intellectual. You saw the teachers take an extra effort with them. You saw the girls kind of get a special treatment. In my opinion, and the boys in my community, it's always sports led. Um, it's always something. It's always physical led. It's always who's the strongest. It's always who's the flyest. Who can get the most attention from girls. Who starts having sex first. Um, um, we associate the qualities that make us a man with absolute bullshit. And I really feel like that's the reason why we have so much struggle, so much decline, so much depression, so much poverty, so much loneliness, so much lack of leadership in our homes, and so much incarceration in our communities. Yeah, the crack came and all that and did the damage it did. The cocaine came and did the damage it did. The alcohol came in the early on prohibition, and it did what it did and ripped our neighborhoods up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s with alcoholism. All the way up until today, and the effects, they are long lasting effects. But being this 2026, it's time to reverse those effects. It's time to reverse those effects that the drugs had on our community. It's time to reverse the effects that the alcohol had on our community, and it's time to reverse the effects that the educational system, and the way that we were associated, have on our community. And it's affected us from the top to the bottom to the point that a lot, a large percentage of our black women, they tend to think that the best version of a black man is either a street nigga, a musician, or athlete. You very seldom see a black woman interested or obsessed with or obsessive over the black man that has the CDL, the black man that's a nurse, the black man that's a doctor, the black man that's a lawyer, the black man that's a successful state representative, city worker, mayor, a president. Why is it that the black man has to be a version of a gangster from a rap video, a version of an NBA player, a version of an NFL player in order to be held to a certain esteem in our community? You know why? You know why? Because we grew up focusing on all the bullshit. All the things that are quickly attained, all the things that are fun, all the things that got you immediate attention. Being intellectual doesn't come quick. It doesn't come fast. It has to grow. It grows through properly associating yourself. It grows through taking the time to open up a fucking book. And y'all excuse my language, but I got to get it out. I got to get it out. I ain't perfect. I'm working on my cussing, but I got to get it out. Um, and this is myself included. I'm 45 years old, and I take a look over my life, and I just think it almost brings tears to my eyes to think about how successful I should be at this point. You know, I'm just getting to a point in life where I feel like I'm doing things that truly doing things that are making me proud, making my family proud, and making my mother proud, and making God proud more than anything else, more than anybody else. And it's due to improper association. Um, it's due to the lack of being treated like a human. The black man is treated like a object. Even the black woman is treated like an object at times too. But in comparison, the black woman kind of has kind of grows up with somebody that she can look up to that's painted the picture of success. Be it nurses, be it women that exceeded in the medical field, exceeded in customer service, exceeded in accounting, you know, tons of fields. But for some reason, that black man, he's always connected to some street shit, some some materialistic shit, and it's never something intellectual. It's never connected to something that grows the brain and grows what really matters inside of a man. If you don't have a certain level of intellectualism, how can you help your kids to speak in public? How can you help your kids to have the confidence they need to go out into the world? You can be ignorant and give them the confidence to go out in the world and know can't nobody beat them up, or know they know how to dress, or to know how to rank, and nobody be able to rank on them and bully them. But what about being intelligent? What about actually going out and understanding what's going on in the world? Understanding what having good credit means and how it affects your life. You know, understanding business credit, understanding how to deal with the police and not talk to them like you ignorant, and being able to talk to them on a level where they can look at you as something more than an object, where they can actually look at you as a human and not a monster, which the media paints and portrays us to be. We go to school and we have classes like PE. We have classes like art, we have music classes, we have English, we have math. But just as much as those subjects are prioritized, it needs to be prioritized for us to be intellectual, for us to be skilled outside of athletics, for us to be able to deal with people, for us to be able to understand how to read, how to speak, how to understand, how to have emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? To learn, uh, because a lot of us grew up with these single mothers, and a lot of times when mothers are first frustrated, the first thing they do is react with emotion, and that rubs off on the young man. So when the young man gets out into the world and he has confrontation, or he gets into it with somebody, or he's in a situation where he can respond and solve a problem intellectually, he immediately jumps to emotion, and that's when the guns come out. That's when the fisticuffs come. That's when we fighting. When we can actually use our words to fight and still be friends after. So yeah, I just wanted to come and say, man, we got a lot we got to work on. We got a lot we got to work on, and we need to start prioritizing our boys, man. We need to start prioritizing our young men, because that's who's going to be leading these families. That's who's the protector of these families. That's who the leader of these kids. That's who offers marriage to the young ladies, right? What y'all think? Let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. It's time for change. What can we do to fix this? What can we do to make this better? Because right now we in trouble, and it's only getting worse. And to be honest, I don't see it getting no better. What can we do to make it better?